Welcome to Awakening, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christian Strang, and today we are bringing you the September 2022 Oracle reading, and this one is, well, they're all fantastic, but this one is just so perfect. I'm so excited to share this with you. It comes from our Oracle, Radical Abundance in Radical Times, and we're going to dive right into it because it's quite lengthy and I want you to have the full benefit of this. It's really important to me that these podcasts are not in abundance and length. You know, we are in a time in consciousness where there's so much consumption of information and so much addiction to information. And what we want this podcast to be for you, and when I say we, I mean me and my spiritual team, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, all of the highest light, of course, on behalf of Source herself and Mother, Father, God. We want this to be bite-sized nuggets of inspiration that you can then get back to your life and take action and create with. We don't want you just sitting around consuming our content. We want you to get a bit of it and then go and create in your life. We really, really want to assist and inspire and encourage creators. We want folks who are active in their creation of the golden age, not who are just consuming hours-long podcasts and hours of content. So you'll notice that our transmissions, our podcasts, we really give it to you in bite-sized chunks. They've even had me adjusting things with our training classes. We have our upcoming Love Territory Guide certification beginning on Tuesday, September 6th. So excited for that. But we've even truncated the amount of time in class because, again, we want you to get the full power and then go create in your life. We do not want you just sitting around consuming, because that becomes its own addiction. And then you have what we can often see in the mainstream is just a lot of folks who are just sort of paralyzed and not really doing anything other than what the program tells them to do. We want you to get the inspiration, get the transmission, get the download, get the light, and then go into your life and create abundantly. So with that being said, we're going to go right into your message, your specific for you as part of my email and podcast community. This is a message for you. If you are listening to this, this is exactly for you. Again, it comes from our Oracle, Radical Abundance in Radical Times, and we released this Oracle in 2021, and certainly we're seeing the continuation and expansion of these Radical Times. And Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, and the highest light, I want you to remember something really important. So here we go. I do encourage you to be, in a meditative position and just allow yourself to receive this transmission and then tap out your cortices and then go into your abundant, bountiful life and create something spectacular. Remember, you're in a choose your own adventure. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego obstacle course matrix? And the intention is to wake up while still in the matrix and see the nonsense that it is. Your success is not in accolades. It's not in fame or wealth. It's not in likes or sales. It's not in knowing the quote-unquote right or quote-unquote important people. It's not even how hard you work. It's not how much money you've accumulated. It's not who knows you exist. Although it is true that when you're spirit-led in your success, you do feel like a movie star, or how you'd imagine a movie star might feel, but which they rarely do. In the way that you glow, the way that you radiate, the way you're living in utter prosperity, but it doesn't matter if one person sees you or no people see you, or if you're doing anything other than tending to your garden or walking in nature or creating a piece of artful poetry. What matters is that you are the one applauding and loving you. You are so brimming in confidence, so full of your amazingness that you are having your best life, your golden, radiant, best life. Something we must address here is the distorted notion that to be full of yourself is a very bad thing, that it's a very bad thing that causes you to be callous and inhumane to others. But this is not the case, our dear one. 3D is physical only, and so it distorts what being full of yourself truly implies. We want you full of yourself. And when you are full of everyone else too, meaning you love and applaud those around you as well. In a third-dimensional definition, being full of yourself is in scarcity consciousness, as all third-dimensional consciousness is, as it predisposes that you're too full of yourself for anyone else to be included. But this is not the case at all. When you're spirit-led, when you're love-fueled, you are over the moon in love with yourself and with all those you meet. You are an advanced soul with a wide berth of experience and unfoldings, and that takes from no one else. You are not above, you are not below, you are perfectly placed wherever you are. Can you see how this scarcity mindset has everyone scampering for attention and for confidence and for being full up of themselves, which puts others below them? And yet, in a prosperity mindset, in an abundance framework, what it means is that you're full up and celebrating all those you meet. And so, dear one, perhaps you've had days like these. Days where you know you are the cat's meow. We love these cliches so greatly. You know that you're the leading movie star in your movie and that you're surrounded by other leading movie stars in their movies. And together, you are the supporting characters in each other's movies. And it is perfect. It's divine. And you are present and the sun is shining and you are loving it. And then there are days where you've forgotten all of this. Days where it feels heavy and dark. Days when it is heavy and dark and you lament whatever it is that's before you. And you see others out there and you lament them for why are they shining so brightly when you cannot? The answer to that cue, dear one, is that they're shining to remind you to do the same. But instead you say, I want to feel comfortable. Not comfortable in a healthy way, but comfortable in a way that is the programmed comfort. I want to feel these inadequacies and insecurities within me, and I want to surround myself with others who are also not shining brightly and who also lament and who will also not create what they're here to create. Now, of course, you don't say this usually, this consciously, but you see this happening within yourself, yes? Those moments when you're in low places, seeking others in low places so you can feel okay about you, and then feeling aggravated by those who are shining bright when all they were ever meant to be was a reminder of your own brightness, of your own divinity, your own deep call that is emanating from every cell within you. And so, during this time, during this preparation period that you are in, these parts of you that we have been describing are dying. These low and heavy and addicted parts of you. The parts of you that breed together and multiply which do not serve you and do not feel good to you. You may notice the tears are flowing. Factors about yourself you do not like seeing are presenting themselves with such clarity you can avoid them no longer. You are seeing your quote-unquote ego in its fullest form, how you judge others, how you judge yourself, how you manipulate, how you misrepresent, how you deem others lower or higher than yourself, how you play the victim, how you dramatize things. All of that is desiring your attention right now. And it's desiring your attention because it must die off. It must be released. The way this happens is this. First, you must acknowledge that this exists within you. If you're not conscious of doing this, look at anything quote-unquote negative or judgmental that you're thinking about another human, and this will point you to what is buried within you that wants your attention. So first you acknowledge this is yours, this lives within you. Then you decide not to judge that you have this quote-unquote terrible thing within you. It's okay. It's what you came to see and what you came to heal and what you came to grow beyond, because let's be 100. In our honesty, as Christian would say, it doesn't feel very good to feel this way. And no one is making you feel this way. You are in fact choosing it, and you are choosing it without even maybe knowing you're choosing it, because you have a long-held program that says something to the contrary, that contrary to the nature of your divine truth. So soothe yourself here, dear one. Soothe yourself. Yes, this thing, whatever it is inside of you. Yes, perhaps this thing you were sure everyone was doing is also residing within you. Now you hear others talk of ego deaths, and we are not about to tell you to kill this misaligned aspect. Why, no? Because you all know that when you attempt to kill anything, or if you do kill anything, that aspect comes back 1,000,000 times over and 1,000,000 times more strongly. Sidebar here, anytime your 3D world has ever gone and killed the quote-unquote bad guys, what happens? Many, 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 many more than what was originally there rises up. Why? Never were you to harm another, ever. When you do, immediate results return to you. That's why killing the ego, a part of your humanness, never works. That's why it only brings in a more intense explosion of whatever it is. For a while there, we couldn't even use the word ego with Christian and in these transmissions because it was too triggering for too many, herself included. It would cause them to go into whole fits and spurts about topics which did not serve them. But now you've grown and you can handle it. You can acknowledge the personality self, the wounded aspects, and you can love them back into wholeness. Your very acknowledgement begins this process. Your self-soothing eases things. They're there. It's okay that this exists inside. We can masterfully heal it and shift it back into wholeness. You have tools for this. What we call the SG guide, the tools from the 5G 5D workshop, advanced body talk sessions, daily meditation, prayer treatment, daily prayer practice, these kinds of transmissions, all of this has been co-created so that you can allow this dying off process to occur with more grace. Christian wanted to say with more ease, and yet we want to acknowledge to you that we know this is not easy, what you are navigating at times like this, and especially now. It's not easy. You want it to be, but it's not. Often these are pieces, fragments of you that you have carried for lifetimes, and now they wish to be seen. You've gone through other time frames like this, yes, where big chunks of the old self are dying off. But this time, you're right. It is more intense this month. It does demand more from you right now. And part of that more is more self-soothing, more gentleness while still taking daily action forward, more movement of your body, more sea salt baths, more tapping, more dancing, more celebrating the wins that occur, more presence in each moment, more laughter, more sessions with your wise ones. Every cell in your body goes through a dying off and regeneration process. You have new skin, new hair, new everything. It's always in this state of dying and birthing. Your earth, look at her. She goes through these cycles repeatedly, dying off, then birthing anew. The ego wounds dying off and then becoming more of who you really are can seem more painful than what we've just described. And yet you must know that you are the microcosm of the macrocosm. What is happening within you is happening to the collective. It's happening on the earth. It's happening in your universe. The old dies off, the new arises. The death, the resurrection, the birth. As some aspects regenerate, others die off completely, and the new is born over and over and over again. And so, your body may be signaling to you of its own dying off process. You may ache and pain and find yourself navigating symptoms you don't love, but this is not to worry. This is a call to anchor down more fully into your self-care, your daily, gentle, soothing, and loving as you rediscover yourself. Your nervous systems, all of your brains, and your DNA are in need of this care and attention, for you are preparing to live in a higher dimension of consciousness than you have ever been in form in. You are preparing for your success on all fronts. Do not judge this. Do not wish it away. Do not try to race being done with it. When you can be comfortable here, when you can thrive and laugh and enjoy and play even in this, then you've really done it. Then you are made new in a new way. And so it is. It is so. Take a nice deep cleansing breath here. September 2022, you are preparing for your success on all fronts. Let the die-off happen. Soothe yourself, love yourself, be gentle with yourself as this die-off is happening. I've heard all sorts of stories about what could possibly be happening in this fall for us, and this transmission and this message could not be more perfect. I encourage you to listen to it whenever you need that reminder about what this month is inviting you into and the opportunities that await for you. Remember, you are preparing for your success on all fronts in this month of September. Let no emotion, let no story, let no wound be off limits to you. If it comes up and wants to be seen, we don't go digging and try to find things because life will bring enough of it for you. But if it comes up, be fully present with it. Just in my offerings alone in sacred spirituality, which how do we create the next golden age in our lives now and for the collective to come? Through sacred spirituality. Just in my offerings alone, you have all the tools you need to prepare for your success on all fronts, to navigate whatever comes up this month. There are infinite resources available to you. So do not wish this time away. Be fully present in every single day, every single moment in this month of September, so that you can be present for all of the bounty that is here for you. And so it is. It is so. Thank you so much for listening and being part of this incredible leading edge inspired podcast. If this was of benefit to you, please consider making a donation in the amount your spirit guides you to. This allows us to continue to bring you this high vibrational content consistently. And feel free to share this with one other person you know who might be wondering what's coming in September or might want some assistance in preparing for their success on all fronts. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, I'm your host, Dr. Christian Strang, and this is Awakening, the podcast.